I'm on?
Yeah.
Oh. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, Shayma wants to play a TikTok behind the camera.
It's actually on Instagram and I'm on your account.
Oh. Who posted something?
That's why I was looking.
Today we're just gonna do a little chit chat, Q&A, random stuff. I hope people submitted like fun questions. Like, I don't want to sit here and be deep all day. I'm sorry. It's the holidays. I want fun, interactive. So if you think of other questions, babe, behind the camera too, ask me fun stuff.
How are you?
I can answer that.
Start solving my camera.
Literally hysterical.
How are you? Oh, it's VLOGMAS. How are you feeling about finally wrapping up our content creator campaign year? I
am feeling good. This year has been stressful because everything has been not everything. There was a lot of transitions, and with the coming recession, plus inflation, plus everything else going on in the world, our industry was a little bit funky this year. Brands were not spending as much money, or if they were spending money, they wanted a lot more work for what they would usually get. So that's been an adjustment because I had financial goals in my head and I didn't quite reach them this year because I always like to do, like, whenever I hit a goal, I like to double it and do that. So that did not happen this year, but there was a lot going on in the world, which caused brands to kind of shift the way that they move and how they spend their money. Just like all of us are a bit more finicky about how we spend, brands were the same way due to everything going on. So it was a little stressful because with the year that I had last year, I had increased not only the people that I work with and hired on. There were just a lot of things that I had in my head that I wanted to do that didn't happen, and I kind of beat myself up about it for a while. But when I really sat back and considered all the things, I was like, considering all of these things, you really killed it this year. Like, I was pregnant and sick the entire first half of the year.
No,
Well, I was sick the entire year, but I was pregnant the first half of the year and postpartum and never took a break and did everything else that I did in my life and for the people in my life, and was still able to come out of this year like mentally sane. Like, I'm not all the way there, but I am. Considering all the things, I killed it. But I had to really sit and think about it because I was like, this year has been, I kept telling people like this year was a complete L. And then when I really sat down, I was like, actually, it wasn't, and I could have been a lot worse off. So yeah, I feel good. I feel very, very, very hopeful about next year. I feel like I'm going to be very intentional about the things that I want next year. Because the reality is life is going to keep lifing. So I think me just learning how to shift, change, and withstand the things happening around me without letting it change who I am or my goals is something that I'm really excited about next year.
What was your best and worst purchase of 2022?
My best purchase was these curtains. I have been sick. I feel like I lived outside without curtains, and I never really knew, like, until I moved into a house, how like much of a difference curtains can make in a room. Like, I always just thought it was just extra. They really make the house. Like, I feel like we have a home now, and it like makes me want to do more stuff in the house. Worst purchase, all of the toys that I bought Harper that she cared about for 5 minutes and then didn't. Don't. Because Corey always gets mad at me for bringing more toys in the house. But like, if I don't have a lot to give that day, I'd be like, ooh, let me get her a new toy, because I can't really be a present mom, or like I'm down bad mentally. So I need something to where I'm not projecting or making her feel like she's the reason for me being out of there. So I get her new toys.
If a great opportunity came, will you be willing to move and relocate the family to Europe?
To Europe?
Mm-hmm.
That's on the card.
He's stressed out.
Mr. I like, no, somebody asked that.
It would have to be like something crazy.
Great.
Like crazy great. Because my husband does not like traveling, nor does he like leaving our house. So it would, and I also don't want to uproot the kids and make them start all the way over. We love Harper's school. Harper loves our school. I have very routine people in my life who do not like surprises or change. So it would have to be something amazing, but I'll never in my life say never about anything. Because whenever I do that, God be like, ooh, what about this one? And I'll be like, ooh, I don't know.
Are you staying home for Christmas or traveling?
Staying home. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I love hosting. I love showering the people I love with gifts, and I love just like the feel of Christmas. My brother did actually mention the other day, he was like, should we travel next year? I think the only way I would travel for Christmas is if I could convince everybody to come. Everybody. So if that's not happening, I'll probably stay home. And I mean like my grandma, my whole tribe here, my best friends and their families, the dogs. Like we would literally have to uproot the whole everybody to make it worth it for me.
50 people in the airport trying to catch a plane is sick.
But even like maybe like a house somewhere and then we decorate it and make it Christmas there. Like that sounds like a vibe, but I would want it to be a thing. I don't want like 4 of us to go and just be like, Merry Christmas. Like that's weird.
Do we have room on our team? Extra room on our team?
Like hiring?
Like hiring.
Yes and no. I am not actively like putting it out there that I'm hiring. But again, I'll never say never. And I'm to the point where now, where it needs to make sense and you need to provide a crazy amount of value to not only me, but to the entire team. I would not like to pay anyone else to do anything else right now until we really know what next year is going to look like. But also I would love for the people on my team currently to be less stressed and overloaded by doing so many different things. But I also realize how we work a lot different than a lot of people. And if you're not a fast-paced worker, if you don't just do it and do it correctly with integrity and with just like you need to do it and do it well and do it quickly at the same time. We just don't have room for error. We don't have room to handhold. We don't have room for weird energies. And like here it's like when you come to work, I genuinely don't care what's happening at home. Like I don't. And because we work in such an intimate environment and I work with people who I'm also close with or family with, I realize that everyone doesn't know how to turn it on and off like we do. So like we're family, but if we're working, I don't care about
like after hours is
after hours is what like, and we know how to turn it on and turn it off. And I just realized everybody's not like that. So I'm not saying no, but it would just have to really be a good fit.
Just saying not right now.
Not right now. Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
That's Harper. Not right now. Not yet. No. But yeah, I'm open, but you would have to really prove a case of like how you can make my life easier.
Yeah. We'll leave an email if you want to submit your resume down below.
And what you can do and proof of it and a video on how fast you work and a race.
A dissertation.
And literally all of that because it's hard. It's hard to find people who fit with what we do. Like, and a lot of times people think that we're a little bit harsh, but it's just the way that we work. Like, that's just how we work. And then after work hours, it's like, woohoo, now we're family. But during work hours, it's like, Did you do this? I don't care. We asked for this yesterday. Blah blah. Like that's how we operate. So if you don't know how to like pull up your big girl panties and deal with stuff like that, then it probably wouldn't fit.
I don't know if you've ever said this, but they're saying share your prayer. Share the prayer you prayed before you got your tribe and sisters. Have you prayed for that? I mean, I know you've prayed for a tribe, but I'm saying.
So I've had really bad friend breakups. Not a lot, but the one or two that I had were really, 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 really hurtful. Like my friend breakups have hurt worse than any relationship or breakup that I've ever had in my life. So I think for me, there wasn't really I guess there was a prayer. It was just like, I just got to find, I want the right people in my life. People that I can genuinely trust. Because when I had those friend breakups, I removed my heart out of everything. And I would not let people get close to me. And I think my mom said it to me once. She was like, you have to let that go so that you can meet the right people. So for years, it was like, I was like real, like generically cool with people and they thought we were close. But in reality, they could have left the next day and I would have been perfectly fine. But I think it wasn't until I genuinely like let those relationships go and basically said like, God, I welcome who you have for me, and was open to it. That's when the right people came in my life. I also want to say the Bible says you have to present yourself as a friend. I don't know what the exact scripture is, but present yourself as a friend to get friends. What's the scripture? Can somebody find it? Mm-hmm. And the reality is a lot of people want these tribes and a lot of people want these sisterhoods and friendships, but don't really welcome it. You close people off, you judge, you're not kind, you don't put yourself out there. The person's not gonna come knock at your doorstep and be like, do you want to be best friends? That's just not how it works. So you have to, put yourself in those environments. You have to be willing to be vulnerable, because with love in relationships and love in friendships, it's taking a risk. So you have to be open to it working or not working. And I think that that's why my tribe is also where it is because it's like, we all took a risk on each other. Like we didn't know we were going to end up, the way that we are. But love is a risk in all aspects. And I also believe that some relationships are seasonal, and I am okay with that. And I know that not everybody is meant to be in your life forever, and you have to be okay with, just like God sends certain things to accomplish certain things in our life, sometimes friendships are the same way. And sometimes you can miss out on those new people in your life trying to hold on to the previous ones, and the ones that don't fit where you are now. And as weird as it sounds, I'm okay with losing people, because I know that everybody in my life isn't meant to be there forever. Some are, not everybody. Proverbs 18:24. Thank you, baby.
What's the weirdest compliment you've ever gotten?
Jan just sent the comment that someone said, while we're here, we're super proud of you. I personally noticed how much kinder you've been to yourself and choosing to rest when you need to. You've come a long way. Y'all really be knowing me. Thanks. What was the question?
What is the weirdest compliment you've ever gotten?
Weird? I've had people comment on my hands before, which is very like, don't all of our hands look the same?
No.
Like, I feel like the majority of people's hands look the same. Now, feet, no. But people have commented on my finger, like my literal fingers before. Oh, and whenever I go get my nails done, they say, wow, you have really nice nail beds. But who pays attention to that?
People, clearly.
I guess.
What's the strangest nickname you've ever been given?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Currently planning a wedding, but stuck because we want to invest in our first home.
Girl,
advice?
Cancel that thing. Throw it away.
have a big
Keep
party
your
later.
money and have a party later where people can celebrate you and you're not paying for other people to celebrate you. I still to this day don't understand why we do that. Like, okay, I understand celebrating a birthday or like you wanting something to be a certain way, but like, or if you just like having parties, okay. But like, why am I paying for y'all to celebrate me? And then the next morning, everybody gonna wake up and forget about it and go on. And when you need a babysitter, you can't call them.
Also, if you're new here, they got engaged on a Thursday and married the following Monday.
But neither one of us wanted a wedding.
Correct.
So
the tribe forced them to get married because they're sickos.
This is the thing though, and this is not to anybody, like if that's just your thing, do it. We like having big like baby showers and stuff like that for the kids and dinners. So everybody values things differently. From a wedding perspective, I just feel like for us, that's not, I'm gonna just say that because it's really no different from having a big birthday party or spending money on whatever. So I guess, but for weddings, we just don't.
Yeah, but if I have to pick between a wedding and a house, I'm getting a house.
Right.
But some people
like the wedding.
Isn't there a show, House or Marriage?
Because I also feel like people have overestimated getting a house.
House too, right?
Like for me, I don't think it's like, you know, people are like, everyone needs to own a home.
Tomorrow.
Like, no, you don't, because it's a lot more that comes with that. So I don't think that like today in 2022, like if that's a goal of yours, that's a goal of yours. But I don't think you should feel pressured to do that because it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Will you do a meet and greet in Dallas anytime soon?
I am considering it for 2023. My last one was 2020, and then we got shut down a couple of weeks later. I have very intense social anxiety. When I had that 2020 event, I promise you I almost passed out so many times just because it was just so much. And then everybody wanted like hugs and like were telling me like all these kind words, but it was just making me sweat and hot and dizzy. So I'm gonna do one. I don't know how soon. Amanda actually told me I don't have a choice.
No, you're for sure having one.
Amanda said I don't have.
You've tripled a lot. A lot has happened.
It has, but that makes me want to go back and like.
No,
like that.
You're having
that
one.
takes me the opposite way.
If she has one, y'all be not if she has one. When she has one, y'all be the first to know. She's having one.
Yeah.
Just pray about the anxiety part, because.
I'm telling my doctor I need some anti-anxiety meds, and then as long as she gives me some, then we can have an event. Then I'll be staring at y'all like.
Please. To follow up on that, how many seconds is the ideal hug?
0.
Okay, no, for real. I know it's 0, but like if you have to hug somebody, which you have to in life, you hug people. Like I'm gonna make you start counting. Like at what point you're like, I will.
You know how Molly hugs Zuri?
Like
she does. That's what she does, and she pats her on the back. No, I don't know.
We hugged her at the team dinner last night, and
I wanted to punch all of their teeth out.
It was like a group hug too, so she was
like I
so
literally
pissed
wanted
off.
to punch them because they know how much I don't like hugs, and I already was crying, and they just made it worse.
We love her. How are you enjoying Pilates? But like that's a part.
Okay, so if you guys haven't seen the other videos, my workout journey is something that I am keeping to myself in 2023. So like obviously if I do a boomerang or something, like that's different, but like sharing like this is what I'm doing and I work out this many times a week and this is how many pounds I've lost. Like I'm keeping my workout and health journey and getting back to fitness to me, just because between that and my relationship with God, like I want to have some things that are just off limits and that are just intimate and things that I can work on by myself without hundreds of thousands of people asking me a million questions consistently about. That being said, if it's just like a quick like, do you like Pilates? I want to try it out. I absolutely love Pilates. I'm not like a in the gym lift weights type of person. Like that's not fun for me, and it actually makes me want to cry. But Pilates is a great alternative to get actual strength training outside of cardio. I feel like it's more intense than lifting weights, but I love it because it gives you the strength training without you feeling like I'm doing 73 reps of this and come on, you can do it. Like, I don't like that. So, are you done? So yeah, I love Pilates. Pilates is a vibe.
Fill in the blank. I don't care if blank is for kids. I will love it until I die. That answer should. Okay, I was like that. Tell us why.
Because it's the best movie ever, and I also really don't think it's meant for kids, to be honest. Because it's not. It's a lot of like.
No. Go home. Go home.
Dirty adult humor in there, and it's great.
3. But what is the greatest fashion risk you've taken this year? And how cool did you feel? That is a weird sentence.
That is a very weird question.
Cool? How risque or how did you feel? I don't know what that.
I think that lace situation with the black and the.
I agree.
Because after having 2 babies, that was probably the least thing one would have done.
That was so fetch.
Are you what? Are you done?
What's the new one?
That was a stupid question. And that.
Also, there's a lot of questions while we're here. There are a lot of personal questions that people ask about different people in my life. If there is something that you don't see that I actively put on here and that I actively talked about, don't ask. Because you don't know what triggers people have and you don't know how that person is feeling. So to ask who is present or who isn't, if it's not talked about or if I don't bring it up, it's really not anybody else's place to bring it up. And I'll leave it at that. Okay.
You want another one?
Do some fun ones. Some fun, quick, like...
What is a totally meaningless topic that you could write a whole dissertation about? I looked down. That was the first one. Like, I don't know. Here, Corey, go.
Where did you get your sense of fashion from?
That's a good question.
Nobody's ever, yeah.
I would really say all the women in my life, because my grandma used to get her church suits made, baby, custom, all of them, and the hat to match. Gotta have the hat to match. And really all the women in my family. It's like my family was like, they knew how to dress sharp for church. My godmother, I always got in trouble for her outfits because they were always a bit,
Scandalous.
Yeah, they were like Carisha outfits and JT.
Do you guys still want a lot of kids?
No. We do
Plain
not.
and simple. Is your current home your forever home?
No. We already running out of space.
Corey, were you hoping for a boy the second pregnancy?
Not gonna lie, I was, but I am so thankful and proud to have my baby girls.
Oh,
No,
that is
everybody
politically
cries.
correct.
Harper's school experience. No question mark, no punctuation.
We love Harper's school. Harper loves school. Harper is in Montessori school, and we believe that is a huge reason as to why she is so advanced. They let her do her own thing. They let her prepare her own food. They let her clean up her mess. And this is since she was 1. Like, she had just turned 1, and it was like, cut your own fruit, do all this stuff, which also I think is a huge reason as to why she's so independent. So even here, she'll be like, no, mommy, I can pour my water. Or like, no, I can clean this up. Or where's the vacuum? Broom? Like, she does her own, like, she wants to do things her own. And I really feel like...
And also knows when she's like officially incapable to say
exactly.
help.
And now that she can use her words, she is very like, no, not yet. Not yet. Be gentle, Mom. Like, she knows how to express how she feels. And I feel like a large portion of that is because of school. And then they'll tell us like what she's doing and things, and we mimic those things at home. Even as much as it makes us cringe sometimes, because I'm like, you're gonna pour water everywhere, but sure, you could pour your own drink.
What do you use on for eczema on the babies?
We do Aveeno. They have a whole eczema line. We do Aquaphor. Even Harper knows how to say mommy itch. Aquaphor, mommy itch, Aquaphor. We do oatmeal baths with coconut oil. And we do also have a prescription for when it gets bad. And it's like an oil prescription. It's not like oral.
How were you during your single season, and was it ever hard for you to wait on God?
Of course it was hard for me to wait on God. I feel like with everybody, it's hard to wait on God. But at the same time, I wasn't gonna sit and wait. So during my single season, I made sure to do everything that I knew I would not be able to freely do when that person came and when my family came, because I didn't want to be one of those people who regretted that later on. So I made sure that I worked night and day if that's what I wanted to do. I traveled when I wanted to do it. I made all the money that I wanted to do, that I wanted to, so that, when I did have a family, we could afford a nanny. We could afford the different things that I knew I personally wanted. So I put my head down and worked, and I was very selfish intentionally with my time and everything else, because I knew I didn't want to have those regrets later on.
Did you use the encapsulated placenta pills after your second baby?
I started, but as with Harper, so I got my placenta encapsulated for both of them. After a few weeks, they started giving me really, really bad migraines, so I stopped taking them. I do feel like they were good for those first couple of weeks, but after I started getting migraines, I knew exactly what it was. And it doesn't happen to everybody, so I do feel like it's worth a try, because they really do help your hormones not do that crash drop as fast. But for me personally, after a few weeks, it did start giving me headaches. We could do one more.
This one says, how do you know people around you are genuinely happy for you?
I genuinely don't know answer for that question, because I don't have those concerns. I feel like if God puts people in my life, it's for a reason. If they're not genuinely happy, He will reveal it. And if they're not meant for me, it'll come out in due time. I don't stress myself out trying to figure out people's intentions and things now. I just pray for discernment, and I pray that God reveals to me who is genuinely for me and who isn't, or gives me some sort of sign of like whatever. And even any time I pray about it, when I tell you He moves quick, and I pray for like graceful transitions and graceful exits, and like, God, I don't want to hurt this person's spirit, but I would like for them to be out of my life. And He just finds a way to just let it happen so gracefully as possible, should I say.
If you were not an influencer, what would you be doing right now? Which I wonder if your answers changed.
I would be a mom, but I still don't feel like I would not work. I have to work. So I would probably be like in a corporate situation, probably the job that I was at. They would have had to pay me a heck of a lot more money, but I did enjoy it.
How do you handle tantrums? Do you believe in spanking? Are we a gentle parenting household?
We are a mix of all of it, but we don't. I mean, our kids are too young. We haven't spanked them. Harper's been popped before, but it's not, yeah, it's literally like and she's like, ah. I'll never say never. I just have my feelings about using certain things to get certain reactions, because that doesn't work. And I don't want my kids to believe that you hurt someone to get them to understand or to teach them a lesson. I just don't. I don't like that form of teaching, because I feel like if you do it at home, that's what they'll think. If I smack this person, then they'll understand what I mean, or they'll listen to me, and no. So, yeah. We do the gentle parenting, but we're not perfect. So there are times where I'm like, Harper! But I always apologize after the fact if I realize that I, you know, yelled just a little bit too loud or had a reaction that I was not proud of.
What is something everyone said you would regret, but you didn't?
Posting my life online. And the same people come back and ask me to post their business or something. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people telling me social media is stupid. You don't need it, like making it like it's a joke. And then those are the same people that usually come back and ask me to help them with XYZ situation. And it's like, oh, I thought it was stupid. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do another one, let me know. If we do another one, it'll probably be closer to the top of the new year. But leave the questions down below and we'll come back and revisit them for the next Q&A. I love you guys.